Okay, hey guys, Greg here again, down in my kitchen. Pay no attention to the swan. Um, yeah, here with another review. As in the last one, you guys remember seeing him, Blitzwing, in jet mode. I figured I'd go with the other Thrilling 30 Voyager. Thrilling 30 being the new gimmick now with 30 years of Transformers. And in comes Springer. I have Springer right now in his helicopter mode, which looks really nice. You know, compared to freaking Blitzy, he's huge. But, you know, that's how it is. I like it. Yeah, that whole nose cone thing still shows up. But it's not a big deal. Let me fix this. Put him off to the side for now. So yeah, Springer. I have the gun set up under here, and it's one of those. I found these on the hard shell one, you know, the ball system missiles, and each one's timed, so it pushes one halfway. So it pushes that one first, and that one after. And that just uses this little clip right in there. And when it's not in there, you just swing out the wheel. Excuse me while I go chase those down. Unfortunately, they don't fly too far. I'll just set that off to the side. Now, being a triple changer, he has a secondary alt mode. And before I do anything with that, I will get Blitzy into his. Because I'm not one for quick moves. I can't, you know, I can't cut through. I'm not technically inclined. Let's put it that way. I don't have the technical knowledge necessary to perform a lot of these technical maneuvers. The best thing about Blitzy is that I'm calling him Blitzy, I don't know why. The best thing about the triple changing aspect of Blitzwing, and by an extension Springer, is that it's very easy, I find, to go between the modes. And once you figure out a system for doing it, it's actually quite enjoyable to do so, because you figure out the fastest way to do the switch, and you figure out the tolerances of the pegs and this, that, and the other thing. You figure out how things roll and work and blah, 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 and yada, yada. And he's done for now. Yeah. Not a huge fan of this, but that's how it works. Now for Springer, which is what I will show you, first you pop the blades out. Now the blades is his secondary weapon. What you do is from here, drop them down a bit, swing this green piece forward, or whichever way, yeah, because it only swings in one direction, whichever way you're holding it. So you swing it down, you bring them up, and then right here, little peg on this side, little hole on the other. Let's latch it up and push it together, and then rotate the clicker into place so the guard holds itself together, and you get the sword. And these become the bot mode's weapons. Now, there is a bit of warping on him. Not sure why, but it's whatever. So to go from helicopter to car, what I do first is close those up, close that in, pull the wheels in. And you pretty much are fiddling with the arms the whole time. And by an extension, the back panel. So we want to take the back panel out of this joint, slide it back so it falls into that joint. And if you didn't see what I did over here, I'll show you on the other arm. What you want to do is you want to first open that all the way up, because that comes all the way out and that unfolds. So you straighten out the entirety of the arm. Just rotate into place. Take this section covering the wheels, rotate it 180 degrees back, and slide it in over the window panel. And then you take that and slide it forward. And it doesn't really hold itself together all that well, but well enough. Sorry for that ding. That's my emails coming through. Then with the back, you just, when they're like this, you lift up the panels on the spoiler, unpeg the wheels from the interior of the legs right there, but you also have to swing the spoiler panels to the opposing side. Then you just rotate them into place. They kind of peg in a little loosely, but they hold themselves together. Kinda. Not the best, but I'm never going to really have them in vehicle mode that much. So there you have them. And you can just plug the weapon in on this front hole over the cab. And the sword hides away in an interesting space. You take those same two back wheels, plug the sword in this way, and you just crash them, and you just have the sword clenched, and there he is in armored car form. Now, it doesn't hold together, like I've said, but because the helicopter is the best looking. Each of them have a good mode. And tank, best for blitz, even though the cockpit doesn't allow him to sit flat, as you can see. It doesn't. It will never. I don't know how that work, how to fix that. Because I've not been able to do it. Unless it sits lower. But I don't see that happening. And the treads don't come out any farther. Yeah, so there is that very slight mismolding. But there's Blitzy and Tank. Oh, and the sword came out. Oh, what did he do? And I'll put that off to the side, because it's not really necessary. Blitzy in tank mode. And Springer in armored car form, and he is a beast in this mode. Sure, the panels don't line up, nothing really holds itself together, but geez. He is monstrous. And rightfully so compared to Blitzy. Huge compared to Blitzwing. Now for the best part. Robot mode. Now like I did before, I'm going to change Blitzwing around. Now when I got Springer, I picked him up at Walmart. And I picked him up after I got Blitzwing. I didn't buy them the same day. I didn't, because I didn't reference Springer in the Blitzwing review. What am I doing? Because I just didn't do that. Because that's not really the greatest thing to do. Just a lot of unfolding, and I'll do this as quick as I can off screen. And those unfold. That was the thing about Blitzwing I didn't understand, is I didn't really realize it at first. The treads were the fronts of the legs because he's got the floating knee joint. That was the weirdest thing, and I think I picked up on that in the review. I hope. That and the fact that his arms don't really hold themselves together when they're opened up. If you heard that, that was Ashley dinging me on a message. I'll answer her in a bit when I'm finished with this. No, just getting him quickly into robotic mode. Which is easy and quick. Now, the one thing I didn't mention about Blitzwing that I didn't fail to mention is that with the animated version, which I don't have, his face tended to go, his face turned on the horizontal. But with this version of Blitzwing, his face turns on the vertical. Now the problem is, all three are on the same joint, on the same rotation joint by the ear, by where the ears would be, and sometimes it takes a lot of force to get the head to switch. But because it will, if you try to spin it up, it'll catch. If you try to spin it down, it'll catch in a different fashion. It's very, very hard to work with, but I only ever keep them in one of the three faces, depending on the mood for the day. So on to Springer. Again, fold up the outer panels, swing them back. The spoiler panels. Take the feet and put them right back into helicopter mode. So you're bringing them all the way back and plugging them in together. And you bring these back panels out, which for this foot is really loose when it's back like this. The pin must not be holding it all that well. But that's alright. Then you bring the arms all the way down to the sides, and you pretty much you're pretty much going back to a type of the helicopter mode. You're swinging these outer panels up, swinging them up on that axis. But instead of folding it out at this elbow joint, you're just folding that up and around. The fist then comes out, and then that outer panel on the arm swings up. And second first is the same as the first. Swing that up, open, hand and fist. Cover with the interior of the arm guard, yada yada. Take the whole back panel off, flip this up onto his back. You actually want to have that wheel out. So you want to bring the head up and bring the whole chest plate down as it's coming. So it just plugs in right there. And you take the back panel, that clips into place. Bring the arms and peg them into that slot. There's this slot here, the peg on the yellow piece on the arm here. This comes up and slots in. You come down to his waist and unclip the legs from each other, and they have a slight joint here that allows for movement that way for the various alt modes. And there's another email, and there he pretty much is. Last little bit, which is purely cosmetic, is you take these front panels, slide them completely up on that joint, and you can angle them off however you wish. Let them stand up properly. And there he is in robot mode. As you can see, very nicely done. You can see both the helicopter pieces and the car pieces all forming together. And you've got the fins for the helicopter, these wheel struts. You've got the wheels on the shoulders and on the feet. And I like how the spoiler is dual-purposed. Triple-purposed, actually. It provides an extra heel. Because you could do anything you want with it. You could bring it up behind the legs and not use it at all, if you truly wanted to. But that just makes an eyesore. So I just bring it down and provide extra heel support. Like so. For articulation, head is on a ball joint, though it is limited. He can only go up about that far, but he can look in all directions. He does have some great light piping. It's hard to... Yeah, there it is. Some great blue light piping. It's nice, just the eyes there. Pretty nice. Shoulders, he can go up on this axis. They're fully ball jointed, so it's 360 movement here. He's got the up and down there. He's got the bicep rotation, nice clicky elbow, and a little bit of inward rotation on the hands because of the transformation, and a swivel joint at the wrist. Limited waist articulation. That's a bonus, that he can turn his waist. That's something Blitzy could never do. He's got a universal joint on the hinge. It's actually a universal joint, not a ball joint. Swivel joint at the upper leg. Very nice ratcheted knees, and toe movement. But you're never really going to need the toe. And it's also got that slight angled joint, but that's also for transformation only. And being a bot, he can wield both of his weapons. And sure, the gun has a peg hole on the bottom, on the top and the bottom, so this sword can go underneath and on top and underneath and make like a bayonet. But really, why would you do that? Because he looks badass with the sword anyways. And obviously, you want to be badass with a sword. You really do. You can't just go, oh, I've got the sword here and I'm not going to wield it badass-like. And, you know, being an Autobot, he's got to hold it badass. Like, yeah! And for size comparison, let's bring back his buddy, Blitzwing. And there is where Blitzwing edges him out in height. Only because of that cannon. And that's the proper way to do it. And why wouldn't you do it any other way? And yes, I did swap their hands on the weapons. Just to make them different. I mean, but yeah. You know, Blitzwing has his issues with his arms. But there's something you can work with. He has very little issues. Apart from car mode, he has very little issues, and I love it. And you can see that his foot is very loose here. But that's just because it doesn't hold itself well. But I like him. 10 out of 10. Actually, 9 1/4. I'll take off 3/4 of a point just for, 9. 9 out of 10. I'll take out the full point for not picking in on car mode. He's an 8 just because of his arms, and tank mode doesn't hold itself well. But absolutely, definitely pick these up. Absolutely. I highly recommend them. But anyways, guys, this has been Greg. I'll check you guys on the flip side. I think I may have a nice one in store on next time out. Check you later.